Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chalkboard Chats. My name is Henry. I'm a life coach for teachers. And on this channel, we talk all things teaching and everything in support of teachers. And today, I want to go on a rant. I wanted to talk to you about teachers' entitlement because I have noticed that the majority of conversations that I have with my colleagues and that I have with clients are the topic is how other people are not doing well, how other people are not being perfect. And I've noticed this in myself too. At some point, I've been teaching for 10 years, and I noticed that every time I was unhappy in my job, I would point out and point my finger and say, I'm not happy because of that. And I would point out to something outside of me. And it would be usually 1 out of 5. It would either be management, it would be the students, it would be the materials that I was teaching or the materials that were available to me to help me teach. Either it was the parents or it was the other teachers. Now, what's so interesting is that we know the phrase money doesn't make you happy, and we know that supposedly happiness comes from within, but we kind of forget when we're teachers that that is still the case. And I used to do this too, where I would be like, you know what, I'm going to quit this job because management is doing this and I don't agree, or because the students, they don't respect me, or the materials, they are, impossible to teach with, or I don't agree with how we teach the materials. And I would put my dependency on happiness on other people. And I would basically say, listen, I'm not happy because of what you're doing. So you need to change so that I can be happy. And I wouldn't even ask it. I wouldn't even demand it. I wouldn't even tell them. I would just sit there and be like, yeah, well, because of their behavior, I'm not happy. Which, I mean, sucks. But it's also the wrong way around, because the outside world, the circumstances outside of us, the elements, the people, the things that are outside of us don't make us feel anything, not directly. We see something happening and then we instantly have a thought about it. We have a snap judgment about it. And based on what we think, we get a sensation in our body. So when I hear management call teachers certain names, I immediately was like, oh, how dare you? You shouldn't have said that. And you're mean and you're bad management. So therefore, I feel, revulsion towards management, not because of what they said, but because of I judge those words and therefore I feel a certain way. Same with students. At some point I had a class, and the first couple of months I had them, it was great. But then slowly I changed my mind about the class. So the first couple of lessons, I was like, this is great. This is challenging. This, is like not an easy thing. And I like to, sink my hands into things and to figure it out. But as the time went on, I changed my mind about it. And then the challenge became they are too difficult, they are rude, I don't like this. So where I was super excited in the beginning, the students were still the same. They were still the same kind of humans, but I had changed my mind about it. And at the end of, I think, a year and a half later, I was like, oh, I'm so glad that they're gone. I'm so glad that I'm done with this course. But the only reason that I was unhappy was because I had changed my mind about it. And we do this a lot. Most of the conversations that I have with colleagues are often about how we don't agree with the material, how we are so frustrated with the copy machine and the printer, how management is unsupportive, how parents, how dare they talk to us in this way, and how, rude the students are. The next generation is so rude. And it made me realize that we're a little bit entitled. We're acting very entitled. We're acting as if management should be supportive, as if students always should behave, as if parents should, have the utmost respect for us. And I was like, yeah, but hold on. That makes us even more unhappy. When we are asking of other people to be perfect, one, we are then putting our happiness in their hands. Bad idea. And two, we are so judgmental of them that we judge ourselves even harder. So it's like lose, lose. This is not going well. So at some point I was like, all right, let's just think about this. And for the last year and a half, year, last year I had challenging management, I would like to call it. And that gave me such a incredibly difficult but challenging time that I've learned so much from. It was very challenging management. This was the person who had some bad names for teachers, who played favoritism, who would ignore requests. Overall, this person was not great at their job. But as soon as I realized that I was putting my happiness in their hands, I was like, wait, no, give it to me, give it to me. I don't need management to be perfect. I don't need them to be supportive. I don't need them to be amazing at their job. Just because they're not supportive, just because they don't do their job as I think they should do, doesn't mean that I have to be constantly unhappy. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, oh, wait, I'm hired to teach. I'm not hired to approve of them. I'm not hired to support them. I'm hired to teach. I can focus on just my teaching. And if I don't get support, no problem. I can figure it out myself. I'm a teacher. We're very resourceful. And I was like, oh, I'm free. And the same is with students. We sign up for this job. Nobody forces us to be a teacher. We actually go in and say, I would like to have a job. Once we're in, we're like, and this is bad, and this is bad, and they behave wrong. No. We sign up for this job and we get it all. Every day, we have a new set of cards that we've been dealt, and every single day it is our task, it is our challenge, if you will, to figure it out, to make it work, to teach. That is it. I am hired to teach. My job is a teacher. So it doesn't really matter what happens around me. I focus on teaching the crap out of the material. And that has set me completely free. I am not worried about management anymore. They don't need to support me at all. I know what I have. I know what I need. I need pen and paper, and the rest I have in my head. I don't need other teachers to be fun and engaging and amazing and friendly. I don't need any of that. I mean, sure, it would be amazing to have a fun conversations during the break time, but my happiness doesn't depend on them behaving in a certain way. They get to be mad, they get to complain, they get to do all the things. Same as me. I get to be mad, I get to complain, I get to do all the things, but just because they're complaining doesn't mean that I have to be unhappy about it. Just because management is not supportive doesn't mean that I cannot do my job. I have a job and I have a roof over my head. I signed up for this task. I signed up for this job. I have this job. There's a mosquito. Sorry. There's a mosquito flying around me. I have this job and that is it. I can be just happy. Sorry. I can be just happy with having a job. Now, how to get from being all invested in all of these other areas and to just take a step back and actually be happy despite bad management, thrive as a teacher despite the difficult materials. It all comes from you. It all comes from within. We know this. We say this about money. We say that happiness doesn't come from money. We say money doesn't make us happy. So what does? Us, our thoughts, our perspective, our attitude. And the attitude of entitlement is making us miserable. It is so, so exhausting to be angry at management for the way they are treating us. It is so frustrating to wait for students to behave in a different way. They will not. They don't have to. They get to be them, and I get to just teach. I am hired to teach. I am good at teaching, and I can get my happiness from within. Especially with students, where once I decided that the student behavior doesn't directly affect me, I go into classes, I'm like, let's see what the new generation makes of this. And most of the time, I'm just pleasantly surprised by the things they say, the way they interact, the things that they point out, the creativity that they have. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But I only see that when I am not hung up on them behaving how I want. Same with management. If I am hung up and waiting for management to be different, I'm just sitting there being miserable all the time, not enjoying my job. I don't need to. They get to do their jobs how they want to. It's none of my business. I don't know how to do their job better than they do. I think I do, and I think everybody should listen to me. But truly, honestly, they show up to their job, they show up to work, and they do it to the best of their capabilities. And even though we think it's bad, that doesn't mean that I have to take all this energy and invest it in them so that they get to do their job better. Entitlement. No, they do their job to the best of their abilities. Let them. Be off. Be off management. Do the things you want to do. I, on this side, focus on me and my task. My task is teaching, and out of just teaching, I get to squeeze out all the happiness that I can find. I don't need parents to be amazing. They get to be the absolute mess that they sometimes are, same as other humans. I don't need my students to behave. I don't need management to be amazing and supportive and understanding. I don't need other teachers to, be happy all the time. I don't need all of that. All I need is me, and I can draw from the well of my own happiness and sprinkle a little bit outside of myself. And that is it. And that has made my teaching job so much easier and so much lighter, because I'm not dependent on other factors anymore. I don't take my energy and use it to control other people so that they behave differently so that I can be happy. I just focus on me. And if shit hit the fan, so be it. I'll figure it out. And I go as the week goes. And as soon as I am done with work, I forget everything about work, because then it's my free time. And then I get to get my happiness. I take my happiness with me, my little well of joy. And then I go from, work into my free time. And then I don't dread my work anymore because I bring my happiness with me. The well of joy just goes with me. I hope this really helps. If you want some help with this, you can sign up, send me a message. I do one-on-one coaching. We'll set up a consult call and we take it from there. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.